Alrighty, making some homemade Italian bread from scratch. Very simple and easy to make. Which, the only reason I'm making it is because we just went up to Wawa and they were out of bread and my brother wants to make French toast. Alright, let's get started. First, what you're going to do, start off with 3.5 cups of flour. Which I already pre-measured everything out so I wouldn't be wasting any time. Next, you want 2 teaspoons of yeast or 1 whole packet. This is rapid rise yeast, so you don't have to waste any time by letting it sit in the hot water. You can just throw it right in and you're good to go. Now remember, yeast is a living organism. Yeah. Sorry, little buddies. Oops, there's a little bit. I almost threw it out too early. Get out of there. This is your fate. This is your purpose in life. Just like my purpose in life is to make bad videos and nobody watches. Thank you. Next, we're going to have 1.5 cups of warm water, which helps activate the yeast. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. Never pour your salt over your mixing bowl. Why? Because if you accidentally pour some in, you can really mess stuff up, especially with salt. Salt is like the #1 thing that can make or break your food. Very important for taste and everything, but you add too much and yeah, people are going to be running out. Get it on the stove, don't care, I'll clean that up later. There we go. And that's all the ingredients. What's next is to stir. Which you can stir pretty much most of the way with a spatula, which I like to do to get started, but after it starts combining and getting a little thick, then there's nothing to do except get your hands dirty. Which, what's the most important rule when cooking? Or what's the first rule when cooking? Wash your hands. Alrighty, now if you get a situation like this where it's a little stickier, you can use a little bit of flour to go ahead and help unsticky it. You don't add too much because then you're going to have your portions off. But a little bit, not going to hurt. If anything, it helps. Now, just to reiterate, what's the first rule when cooking? Wash your damn hands!
Let me see your bowl. Get that.
And then once we're done kneading and got it in a nice little ball like this, we place it back in our bowl. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover that and let that sit for an hour. You got to let it rise for about an hour with this bread. So now we wait. And while I wait, I guess I will do the dishes. You didn't dirty a single one of them dishes. Come over here and point out the... I guarantee you dirtied probably that fork. Alright, almost done the dishes. Excuse me, bro.
It's almost bad though.
Now we're gonna set the oven to 425. Let's check that bread. Ooh. What you guys think?
Looks good.
Alright, now we'll just give that time to heat up. Finish those dishes and we'll be good to go. And we're going to be cooking it in a cast iron skillet, but first we got to oil it. I see you waving your hand over there like that's enough oil.
Shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up. What? I was getting into it. It's a good wrist workout. What is this thing?
Cast iron.
And I meant the weight. I didn't finish my sentence. Probably
Pounds.
Yeah.
6 pounds.
about that. Alright. Now for the bread. Woohoo! Oh, and by the way, I did get the dishes done. But it doesn't matter because there's always more dishes. Okay, so I kind of fucked up the form a little bit, but that's fine. Valentine's Day just passed, so I'll make it look like a heart.
You should have put it on the counter.
I know. Don't make my mistakes. And now we're going to put a 1, 2, a 3. And now we're going to want to cook this for about 25 to 35 minutes, keeping an eye on it, but basically when it's golden brown. And now we clean the other bowl. This way for now. Good old recipe box. Bread, puppy. Time to check the bread. Any birds in the window? Nope. Not even in the tree. I ended up putting it on for an extra couple minutes just for good measure. So, can hit that. Timer off. Ooh. Little malformed, but looking good. And one way to double check to see if it's done, just a quick check. Give it a tap. If it feels a little solid, but not too solid, you're good to go. Cool the rack out. Thought we had a metal spatula, but I guess we don't anymore. Alright. Just do it the old-fashioned way. By hand. Came out good. Ooh, nice golden crust at the bottom. Now we just gotta let that sit for a little while so it can cool down and solidify. I probably should have let it cool down a little bit longer, but you know what? I'm hungry. Ooh. Booyah. Smell that, puppy? I'm just going to cut that and leave the other half. Dig in. I'm gonna go first piece, no butter. Mm-hmm.